Alrighty.
Okay.
Just waiting on confirmation from both teams here. Insurgence says they need a minute, and it looks like Valory's still getting organized a little bit. It's got a nifty little notification. CTF Spotlight is live.
Right, so we do have a very strong roster now from Insurgence, with the additions of Spexon, Chickd, Versions, Corsair, and 04 underscore. With Spexon being from Defiance formerly, Versions, Chickd, and Corsair being from Galvanize.
And then 04 just a pickup.
Yeah. On the other side, we do have a lot of new additions for Valory as well. They haven't been a team for too long, but Spray, Eugene Skis, and Bluely all came over from Galvanize as well.
Should have lost the thread. I hear you.
The rest of their roster was sort of closer to the original Valory bunch. Tortugas, Fivehead, Cool Potato, and Caffeine all in that group. And Heise was a slightly later pickup, if I recall correctly. So it should be interesting to see a lot of history working together as teams here. But nevertheless, a lot of experienced players.
Yeah, it should be... I mean, this is an important match for both teams, I guess, really.
Yeah. And should be a preview of what to expect from both of these teams in the tournament, because there definitely were some questions for both coming in. Now, they are going to be in different groups. Valory is going to be in the Fire Conference, whereas Insurgence is going to be in the Ice Conference. So, Valory, we don't know how they're going to do against just about every team available. They don't really have a lot of history playing officials, so we really don't know what to expect from them.
I mean, these are basically... Like, Insurgence is almost like a new team. I mean, half their team is, like, new members, so really we haven't seen much out of either of these guys.
Yeah, although it is worth noting that both... well, Chickd, anyways, played for Supernova for a time. So he does have some experience working with the former Supernova members of Insurgence.
Yeah, we're going to be starting here in 10 seconds. Rules for this match are as follows. Mandatory match rules, no Necro. 1 Archer, Pyro, Assassin, and Mage maximum. 2 Medics and Elves maximum. 3 Rebels and Soldiers maximum. And then 4 max of every other class. And there's also 1 Ninja Cap per map with no premature pearling. So that being said, I'm going to be watching both teams really quick to see if they are going to go for a possible Ninja Cap off the start. We have Sportyman going in here first on Blue Flag. Right. Almost no one's there yet.
Your casters today are going to be myself, Bosuke, Mitsuki, November, who is in the call apparently, and Red Slime.
Hello.
Hello, Matt. Good to see you. So we do already have the defense set up for Insurgents. Looks like they're going to have Dan or Antarcia on defense, as well as both Olival and there's one other ninja who's around that general area. And 04 is actually playing their Archer on the back line.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what kind of priority both teams put towards ninja capping, with no premature being allowed. Blackout's still a viable ninja capping map even with that.
On the other side, the offense for Valory so far is going to be Spray, Fivehead, and Eugene Skis.
He's out with a pretty clean steal here.
Yeah.
He has been healed by his medic already. Pyro's below him, but I don't believe Pyro has frenzy quite yet.
Interesting to see him playing Soldier, but he has played that a bit in the past.
Cool. He's running away from the Archer here. Probably should run towards.
Archer, and so far has had a fairly strong start. Looks like he's getting jumped on by Olive there, though.
If Chicky had cut towards the Archer there, he could have been pretty clean. But
interesting decision from the Assassin there to try to fight Olive. We do have a steal from Eugene Skis on the other side. He is out as Soldier, but gets knocked down right away. Spray is trying to get through as Chemist and does get the steal, but did take a lot of damage and goes down inside the flag room.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage on this defense here from Insurgents. So something like Chemist is going to be very difficult to get a good steal with. But this is Blackout, so it could happen. Well, they're running double Ninja Soldier, so he's going to have a lot to go through.
So Valory's offense is getting caught in the middle here, but they actually do see the ninja get knocked down.
Five's taking at least 2/6 worth of damage here.
Yeah, he's taking way too much damage to Dan here.
And he's actually just going to go down before his chemist even goes in.
UG does get the steal right away, though.
Although he doesn't have a medic, so
really
like any damage taken on him here is permanent.
True, but he's really not been picked up that well.
He might want to go bottom, but he's going to go back top.
Well, he does have a little bit of support from Spray there, but he's trying to avoid the Archer by the looks of it. He's pretty far out. On the other side, we do have a steal from
he's running away from his medic.
_plum.
Who is that?
Corsair.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or formerly Pro Gamers. He's medic, actually, and he does have
Yuginski's
here, so worth keeping an eye on the medic team.
Yeah, Yuginski's has gotten a medic, and is at spawn now. Awaiting a possible recuff here. A lot of pressure coming down on the Plum.
A good individual play from Yuginski's with support from Spray there to keep him alive.
Yeah. So we are on our first stalemate of Blackout, 3 minutes in. It is medic versus soldier though, which is something to note.
Yeah. Generally, you would give the advantage to the soldier, but I do think Corsair is the stronger PvPer than Yuginski's.
They can sometimes come back to bite you though in the if there's like an assassin or something.
I will say Corsair does sometimes have issues with positioning, so we'll see if those come into play here, but thus far it looks like a lot of support for him actually from
Well, they have to. He's a medic.
Yeah.
That being said, medic teaming is the thing to watch here because one misclick from support he could basically give up the cap.
Yeah.
They are looking to pass here, maybe. Just held the flag and pass it over to a soldier.
Right to Chickdee, which is going to be a soldier pickup. It's definitely a better position for them to be in.
Interesting that there were no ninjas there. They had more than enough time to get a ninja across, and
true.
Hadn't been one yet.
Although Valory's recovery was sort of staggered coming in, so
yeah, they're helping their flag carrier out a little bit, so they were slow. But with a medic there, you're almost always going to want to have...
Oh, UG does drop, picked up by Spray. I believe that may have been a headshot.
Yeah, headshot from the bridge, actually, from 04.
Yeah.
It's now a chemist hold, though, so this is going to be, again, a lot more pressure.
Specs on coming in, but he gets taken out by Bluely. Spray's trying to gain some distance here. Avoids being taken down by Sporty. We'll see if he tries to pass back, but so far he's just sticking with the flag.
Now, this is a holding situation that's a lot more even than, say, Soldier Medic.
Oh, yeah, I definitely give the advantage now, actually, to Insurgence.
Yeah, I mean, especially right now there's a soldier on Spray, right? The soldier's going to be hard to kill and he's getting so much damage off.
There's just so much damage on Insurgence's recovery right now.
Well, the thing with Spray, too, is even if Spray gets restored, he can run out of mana very quickly, and he won't be able to heal then. If the medic's on cooldown and he has no mana for pots.
Yeah.
He does have a mage defending him, though, which could supplement that a little bit. But the mage looks
here. Yeah. UG has it now, just before Spexon gets there. But it was a good time for the pass because they had just killed 2 ninjas. Pretty safe bet that you could pass at that point.
Yeah, so we're seeing the Warzy player here on mage. Maybe his aim will transfer over. We'll have to see.
Warzy player's an aim, thinking.
Warzy
player's aiming, thinking emoji.
Maryland's actually going to take out 1 ninja there, and now he's on to 04.
Yeah.
Basically,
he's
the entire
actually doing a good job supporting there, but does eventually get taken out by 04, who also cleans up the assassin and is now getting shots at UG, although he doesn't have...
Power right above UG, he doesn't even notice. He doesn't use Frenzy. What?
Maybe he didn't have it?
That X definitely looked enchanted to me.
I guess he was trying to get in a position where he could get hits off, but...
Yeah. Still. He hit him for it. If he had activated Frenzy, maybe he doesn't get the second hit, but it's a lot higher chance than...
Yeah, and I mean, at that point, if there's any more damage from the rest of the team in the area, they may be able to clean up.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe he didn't have Frenzy, but I'm fairly certain he did.
So Spexon does go down there, coming across this time.
So 2 ninjas actually here on Yugian. But Spray's going to be there, invis camping him to potentially kill them.
Olive does take down Bluely coming across the map. Bluely did have Frenzy, so that is actually fairly big. That's going to force Valory's Recov to...
Headshot nearly hits Yuginski's here, but actually takes out his medic instead.
On the other side, Cool Potato doesn't have nearly as much luck. Gets knocked off the top part and killed by Olive.
Yeah, at the same time, 04 is going to go down there to a ninja and a soldier on top of spawn, so it's going to be a reset coming out here for both archers.
Caffeine taking out the Pyra there in the tunnel as well. So good positioning so far from Valory. They've been able to pick up the major threats coming across for the last couple minutes.
Yeah.
Although we'll see where Spexon
That being
goes
said,
this time.
Insurgence has had the better recovery opportunities so far, with Spexon nearly getting that kill before and 0-4 almost getting a headshot a moment ago.
True, yeah.
So they're picking them up, but they're not picking all of them up.
But again, though, Spexon gets taken out here again. On the other side, Valory really hasn't been getting much pressure on recovery, and they do probably need to change things up if they're going to get a chance here. Because although Heize is able to take out 2 ninjas there, that's just going to more or less stall out indefinitely because they can get back so quickly.
Well, one thing for them, too, is they had more players on support when they dropped the flag earlier, too. So they might not want to be sending too many people on recovery, knowing that. So 0-4 actually going to take out the ninja there, but Yugin is just going to play towards him, so the headshot's going to be very difficult to get. He's actually at a distance now where he could land the headshot, but Soldier is going to go right around the wall, nullifying his chance. And we'll go down immediately after to the ninja. I mean, assassin jumping down here, it's Dan, but he's going to get killed by his opponent.
And Spray... Oh, Spexon does use the Frenzy there, so he's not going to have that right away. But he gets 3 quick hits off on Spray, and if he had lived a little longer, that may have been a chance for a Frenzy.
Yeah, he's forced to use that there to stay alive. But if he was able to hold that, that could have been a recovery.
So, the biggest threats for Chickdee right now...
There's actually a drop from Yuginski's into a recover from Sportyman there.
He
looks like it might have been a headshot.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he, as in, like, he got killed.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, recovery coming out from Spexon as well on the other side. Neither team gets a cap here. Quite yet.
No, not
Oh, that was another one.
No,
Yeah,
Chickdee's going to get the cap here.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't realize they just stole again.
And that is a 1-0 lead for Insurgents, although things have looked pretty competitive so far.
Yeah. Having trouble, because I see Spexon and I'm like putting him to a team. I'm used to him like being on Defiance, so.
Right.
I'm like, oh, he's not on Insurgents.
So Caffeine's roaming up really far here as Assassin, but he takes out the ninja anyways, I guess? It's sort of interesting watching him play because he's obviously a little less experienced with CTF, and as Assassin, he's not really staying in the high kill percentage areas. But he's been getting a few kills here and there that have been fairly impactful. We do
actually
have a
really
skill
like
from Corsair again.
Yeah. Is that medic once again, huh?
Yeah.
Or...
Now this time he's not going to have much support, so he should go down here.
Yeah, he's actually
looks like Chickdee's going straight for the flag.
That's going to be a bad drop there.
Yeah, no, he was hoping they would immediately pick it up. And now Chickdee's going to go down. Just a little messed up coordination there.
So the byproduct there of him holding so long is that Blue got enough hits on him to get Frenzy, so both those soldiers just get cleared out completely.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like to mention, though, is I really like the way Spexon's playing this as Pyro. He's sitting against the back wall, so they can't really knock him off the flank too much, especially if he's up against that flank post. And he's burning the top hole when soldiers come in, so he's forcing them to come bottom or take more damage.
They really are keeping all of Uncool Potato alive, so that does mean a fair amount of Insurgents' recov is roaming.
Spray's actually going to cut back here, get in front of all the recov.
Yeah, it does allow for Spray to get out here, amongst other things. He's not going to win this fight, though.
And Spexon's cleaning up the... Actually, Spexon goes down to the soldier there, but the soldier has to be incredibly low.
So Chickdee, on the other hand, has made it to mid. He got frozen by Tortugas, and he doesn't have a lot of support here. But if he can make it over to Corsair...
Corsair goes down.
Corsair goes down.
That's actually a really good route he took, avoiding that assassin.
Still, Chickdee has a stake and should be able to make it over to the medic, especially now that he's gotten up into the middle tunnel.
Yeah, I'm actually really a fan of the route Chickdee's taken here, avoiding as much as he can.
With that said, Bluely has followed him fairly well.
Yeah.
But Corsair should make it over now.
And Blue is low enough now that she can't turn. Assassin comes in, but he will not go off.
Nothing doing.
Quite yet.
Bluely does eventually go down to Dan there.
And it's just a soldier and a ninja now standing between Chickdee and the cap here.
And Heize has made it over, and Heize is fairly strong.
Ooh, nearly headshotted there, actually.
Headshotted. And that is going to be a second cap for Insurgents. Chickdee
both going to Chickdee, right?
On offense. Yeah. Although Corsair got the first steal.
Yeah, it was a pass eventually. So strong showing here from Insurgents right off the bat. And we're only 12 minutes in the blackout.
They're already getting caught here by both Dan and Versions. He's probably not making it out of that, yeah. one difference that I've noticed is that you are getting a little pressure here down middle from Tortugas on Corsair, but that's really about it. You're not seeing as much roaming up to the choke points.
Yeah, whereas like the Ninja and Insurgence side are playing very far up.
It's not so much that they're playing very far up, but they're catching people, you know, at the entrance from the tunnels at mid and so on, where they don't have a lot of room to get away.
I guess they're like more, like the area they're covering is more like widespread than what just a mage can.
But really, it's focusing those critical areas that's working out well for them so far. Now, with that said, that has allowed for a few chances with Yujinski's and Spray coming on relatively obscure routes across the map. I mean,
we've seen almost equal steal opportunities, aside from that one cap that you just got, but every other steal they've gotten has been pretty much matched.
We do have a switch here on offense from Valory. It's going to be UG and Spray both going Soldier now. 5 buffed them to start.
So Chickpea gonna try to pass to a Ninja here, but the Ninja falls down, throws it again, and just into the recovery.
Yeah.
Pretty much not able to pick up the flag there.
Let's see what health he's on. I guess can't quite in time because he respawned. 5 does get chased down by Dan there. Looks like the first push there from Valory didn't really work out on offense.
Yeah, so Maryland
is going to try to make it in here. Does get set on fire, but is actually going to make it out. He's been knocked over towards spawn side. Doesn't have a lot of support.
Yeah, no medic here at the moment.
On a couple times.
Soldier coming top. They might be able to hand off here, and it looks like they might. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, Spray actually gets it.
If he doesn't get headshotted here, this is going to be a really good steal.
Now he's
stuck between a Ninja and the Pyro. Actually going to get headshotted there.
Oh, but Yuji's going to make it to the flag first, and 5's coming for him.
Oh, but he's dead to fire damage.
Yeah, and he does eventually go down. Cool Potato's actually going to make it into the flag room second, but I don't see that being a steal.
Yeah. So Tortugas here, or Maryland is his name currently. Seems to be playing this mage pretty well, but I really don't like where he's playing it. He's playing it like on top of this like middle area here. He doesn't really have any pressure for this soldier coming on the side. Like he's not going to ever knock him off. And that's a big part of playing mage in this map, is getting those like environmental kills. He has almost no chance of getting them here, with him able to see him as they're coming in.
Does look like there's a little less pressure right now on Cool Potato. He's being left open to get shots here. He's just not getting too many.
Yeah, Yugian steals, and he's actually out going top mid. If he does not get a headshot here, he could be.
Well, the Ninja does knock him back.
So 2 Ninjas and a Soldier up there, and he's going to get knocked back down and recovered on.
Yeah.
Very good job there.
Chickpea gets a steal. Always does seem to have that first Ninja on the ledge.
Chickpea's on fire. He's taking a lot of damage. Might have even gotten frenzied there. Looking to go middle, but not having a lot of trouble.
Going to pass to Sporty here. They are allowed to Ninja Cap, I should note. Just...
Yeah. And what it's going to do, too, for those watching, is once the flag is stolen, that Prima rule doesn't really like apply anymore. That Ninja can throw the Pearl, then pick it up like last second. It's only premature on like stealing that's not allowed, so you can Pearl prior to the handoff and basically insta-cap, I guess.
Yeah, although you have to rely on your teammate to steal.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, so. We did see Sporty there throwing the Pearl before, trying to pick it up, so.
UG is going in right now. Does get the steal, but he's taken a lot of damage from Spexon already. Gets out again, though. And Spray was almost there to pick it up in time. He is going to get the steal as well, but does go down to...
Stealing that shot from a medic here. Running towards the sponge.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really good line from Maryland, actually.
He may try to pass through bars here, but there isn't someone on the other side.
There's no one there. Yeah, so ultimately that lighting from Maryland there is pretty good.
Oh, I see what they're...
That's a Ninja steal.
Yeah.
If he goes spawn side, he could be out, and that's exactly where he's going. This should be very good for him. He could actually go directly to flag. There's not going to be one in his way.
There's a good draw from Corsair, too.
This is a cap if the soldier doesn't kill him. That's a cap. He capped, yeah. That's actually a really good decision from Sporty there, going spawn side, knowing that all the recovery is on the right side. And both the Ninjas had actually died right after he stole. So Spray and Chickpea stolen, or have stolen.
Spray is actually pretty far out now. He is going to have the medic support here if 5 doesn't get knocked off. 5 actually does manage to kill Sporty, so...
That's the restore on him.
So far, so good. 0-4 is in position to get the headshot, but
yeah, Chicktee's actually spawned here with a medic.
It's going to be a lot more difficult.
So yeah, so both players have archer pressure on them, but they're both at spawn with a medic. Olive's gonna try to kill Cool Potato there, but actually gonna pearl under a flag carrier and fall.
And we are going to see a couple misses over the top here from Cool Potato. Basically not enough room to work with as Archer there to get the headshot. 0-4 on the other side is being pressured a bit. May be able to get a shot on Spray here. UG seems to have gone AFK instead of following. Looks like he respawned instead, but 0-4 is in a danger spot there. He is finally going to get picked up by Eugenski's, but I really don't like him switching on to Ninja to try to pressure. Soldier would have worked just fine in those circumstances. He does finally get the kill on 0-4, though.
Yeah, he does end up going down one time there as Ninja, which gave 0-4 a potential headshot opportunity. As Soldier, he would have just been able to tank it and wouldn't have ended up going down. Hey, this is a classic Soldier stalemate on Blackout. We're looking for either like Archer or Pyro probably to make a big play here. Ninja can get recovery here, but it's very unlikely without assistance of another class.
And we do see the rare assassin drop down, but it basically is a matter of luck because
with assassin,
most of the time Soldier is going to be blocking even if they don't expect an assassin to be there.
Yeah, with assassin a lot of times it's from like pyro pressure as well.
Yeah,
making that player move or like headshot pressure or something like that. So we are looking towards those insta-kill or pseudo-insta-kill classes, I guess.
Because generally speaking, the best way to get recovs in this position is to pressure the Soldier out of their chosen hiding spot.
So 0-4 here saying I can headshot him if I do not miss the first shot. Generally, if you hit the first shot, you'll get the recovery.
Because you do have the element of surprise.
Yeah.
Spexon, who apparently has Frenzy, according to Bluely, has decided to stick around Chickty.
So I like what he's doing, actually, playing defensive here until he does get the Frenzy and then roaming up. That way he doesn't have to rely on fighting people on his way over.
Still, he does have the Frenzy right now, and he was at mid a second ago, so he has decided to head back for whatever reason.
Probably get healed up here before going on recov, I'd bet. Or just to support his flag carrier if he needs it.
Bluely is trying to find an angle here, but gets chased out towards mid.
Ooh, gonna get headshotted.
Yeah. Good pick from 0-4.
That could have been a fairly good attempt, actually. She'd gotten around the side, but that's a really good pickup. So both soldiers basically in the exact same spot here. Spray being a little bit more exposed, but not by much at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, after years of gameplay on this map, this has pretty much been decided as the holding spot for Soldier on the map.
Well, yes and no. It's definitely the preferred spot, especially of late. But that has changed over the years.
I mean, yeah, we saw some teams, like old TC, for example, used to hold in flag room a lot.
Yeah.
But you do open yourself up to Pyro and Assassin being more effective in there.
And you do see a number of people as well hold under the barrier to the left of spawn.
Yeah, that's actually where I prefer to hold, personally, like behind those iron bars. But I feel like that
just because of where you spawn in, it is actually about equidistant, but it is a little harder for the other team to get to the barrier out in front of spawn as opposed to the one to the right of spawn.
The thing I will say about the right side of spawn is, I guess, like as a support group, it requires like a lot more communication because there's a lot more angles you can really be hit from like an archer or whatever. Like up top, XX dead. Like they don't have to go as far, like you were saying.
He is going in with Frenzy now, but is being chased down by most of the support here. He does eventually use his Frenzy on the soldiers to try to clear them off him, but that just doesn't work.
Headshot nearly coming out of Chickty. That was probably about a quarter of a block away from the top of his hitbox there, but 0-4 is going to pick up that archer. Both archers getting very close to getting headshots.
Question that may matter at times is if there are ninjas in place to recov if Chickty drops.
Yeah.
UG is holding there for the time being, but he will eventually run out of invis.
Yeah, that's just the thing, right? He comes in after his archer's gone down. So by the time the Archer gets here, he's basically going to be forced to come out of invis. And there's a soldier there now, but...
Okay, we do have a 3-person recov here. Cool Potato as the Pyro now. Bluely is chasing Chickdee around a bit, but Cool Potato is taking a bit too much damage here to sustain.
Could get knocked off here, potentially, but... Pretty unlikely. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, 5 drops. Cool. Isaiah picks up.
Yeah, so we have 2 drops on the side of
now,
Valory
Isaiah
there, actually.
Is a soldier. 04 is still alive back there. Gets another headshot as he's being attacked, and now 5 is caught out by Insurgence's recovery.
Well, that's the thing, you have to question, right? Where are the ninjas?
You managed to get people there just in time, but you are going to have Olive in place, and he recovs. Very good play from Olive there, getting there just in time.
It took them 4 drops to get that ninja recover, though. That was... Chickdee will get another cap. That's his 3rd and the 4th for Insurgents overall on the map.
Knowing 5, he is going to be kicking himself for that a bit. But they did... I mean, if there was going to be a time to pass, that may have been it.
That was it.
Well, they did clear out a couple ninjas, so...
They drop it 3 times, right? No one recovers. So when those 2 ninjas come out of invis after, they have to assume, right, there's no one else there. That's probably what they thought, right?
Yeah. And I guess you could criticize them a little bit for not being mindful of the fact that Insurgence is playing 3 ninjas and has been all game, but even so...
Yeah, I mean, they could have chemist checked, but the thing with that is, by the time they get the chemist out there, those ninjas are guaranteed going to be back.
And Corsair actually gets boosted to mid by the lightning from Mage. He is way out ahead of everyone. Oh,
he's really far. And when you get this far as medic, it's actually really difficult to recover on with these webs, especially going through the tunnel like he is now.
Yeah, so that's going to be the final cap for Insurgents.
Yeah, 5-0 for Insurgents. 3 caps from Chickdee, 1 cap and a really good steal from Plum, and then that ninja cap from Sporty. Pretty strong showing here.
Yeah, not necessarily a bad showing for Valory either, but there were a few lapses in communication there, a few times where they didn't really pick up the right people. And overall, they did seem to be a little bit on the losing end of the PvP battles.
Opposite Skull 5, different map here, completely different playstyle, so...
Yeah, we are going to see probably a much bulkier setup coming out from both sides. I wouldn't be surprised if Spray switched back to Chemist on offense here.
Well, so here's the thing, right? Looking at Valory's team, having that Mage player, having an Elf, having a Soldier Man on offense as well.
The Assassin as well.
If anything, I think Blackout really favored them out of these 2 maps. Like, that was their best chance, I think.
Blackout was Valory's best chance?
Well, as far as, like, I think that map favored them a lot more than Opposites going to here.
Quite possibly, but I do think between Bluely, Heize, and Cool Potato, you do have a defensive core here, if they decide to go that route, that has a fair amount of experience on Opposites and knows how to play this map pretty well.
Yeah, their defense should be alright. I'm just worried a little bit about their offense here.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I don't see them being able to get in particularly well.
And I'm interested to see whether or not Maryland still plays Mage here. Because Mage is alright here, but it's pretty reliant on guessing where the offense is going.
We do have the new rosters coming out. UG and 5 are actually both going heavy. 04 is going to be Chemist right now, and he's fighting UG, actually getting a lot better at this fight.
Yeah, that means they can only have 1 heavy on defense, which is going to actually mean they're running this Mage.
And 04 actually just straight takes out UG.
Oh wait, they have 4 heavies, I'm pretty sure. They have Haze and Cool Potato. Are Yugi and 5 both heavy?
Yeah, UG and 5 were both heavy anyways.
Okay, let me check thread. I'm pretty sure it's 3.
Yeah.
Let me just check that real quick. I'm pulling up the thread. Yeah, okay. Valor. Hello, I'm being told by Drying that you need to turn off the tab in the stream. Okay, so Salty Man has got on a steal. Is he ninja?
No, he's
He's actually Chemist going top. Has support from Dan, though. And these... Yeah, there's no ninja here. There's no one to recover on him. No one's going to catch up to him.
Yeah, it looks like they did switch off their ninjas on defense, so...
I mean, yeah, they swap from that heavy, but they don't swap it to a ninja, right?
No, their initial defensive setup didn't have ninjas because you generally don't like to run ninjas too much on this.
Yeah.
Corsair is already out a ways on bottom, no one on him at all.
Well, that's what happens on opposites, right?
Yeah.
You get a really good steal top, and then someone can get like a secondary steal down bottom.
And Bluely and Maryland are way behind on bottom, and it doesn't look like there's support really
Cool
coming.
Potato's taking a ton of damage here. He's definitely going
Corsair
down.
tries to go up top now. That's an interesting switch, actually. But that may be where the support for Insurgence is going to be. Looks like he hasn't been picked up at all. No one is going to see him, at least until Eugenski's.
Oh, really good webs here, actually, from Corsair onto Eugenski's. If he can kill this ninja, oh, he's in a really bad spot here.
Yeah.
Both, we might see both flight carriers actually going down here.
Isaiah does go down, though.
Plum's going to capture, yeah.
Wow, that's a very strong start from Insurgents.
Yeah, 203 minutes into opposite. This is a map that, again, like, you can get lucky captures, I guess, by like, just getting a good steal.
Spam, for reference, I believe I saw 3 webs.
There's no way. Yeah, I mean, like, I think only 2 placed anyway. Or there might have been like a 3rd place, but there was no more than that. I got it.
Okay.
So yeah, this is a map that, I mean, Insurgence has a really good lead. And I mean, especially if it goes into like a stalemate situation or something, like we see a lot on this map.
Does get out going bottom. He doesn't have a lot of pressure on him right now.
It's not medic, and that's the restore.
Bottom. No,
and
he's
the restore
out now. Yeah, with the restore, with UG there to support.
Yeah,
Valory is a little behind when
if this ninja goes down, no one can get in front of him.
So it's up to Dan to.
Ninja's dead to the pearl.
Yeah.
Unless they have someone steal right now, this is a capture. No one's here. This is a cap.
Very good response there from Valory.
Yeah.
So they've made a game out of this.
Yeah, I was in the middle of saying if we saw a stalemate situation or something, this could be just the map going to Insurgence.
Now, Versions actually gets knocked a ways down the stairs, but sort of tries to turn back there a bit.
Well, we're going to steal. Going into Chemist here now that we're on an enclosed map instead of Archer. He's out top, but is going to get assassinated there last second.
There is just no support for him. That was at the end of the recov trying to come into counter steal. So
yeah, they'd already gotten 2 steals there, and both of them went down, so he's just the last man standing.
And it is worth noting that there is a ninja now, 2 ninjas, I believe, in fact, on defense for Valory.
Yeah, and even though Blackout and Opposites are 2 like completely different maps style-wise, they're both maps where offense can just get really good like lucky steals, I guess.
Tortugas has also switched off of Mage and is now playing Assassin.
Yeah, which I do really like, because Mage is really dependent on guessing where the offense is going. Plum's going to be out as medic going back.
Corsair's out again. That's 2 webs, so he's fine.
Yep. 3rd one wasn't at the same time anyway. So this ninja needs to get in front and knock him back, but he's knocking him forward.
Yeah, no, this is inexperience showing a bit here from Caffeine. And doesn't manage to keep him off the sponge either.
If this ninja goes down, there's no chance of recovery, really.
Does get a kill in midair.
No one's going to be here to steal. This could be the map.
Assassin does come in, doesn't see him right away.
Ninja on him. That's actually, wow. That was a really quick opposites.
Yeah. No kidding.
So 5-0-3-1 for Insurgents, 8-1 in caps. Wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't necessarily uncompetitive, but Insurgents definitely showed that they were the stronger team.
Yeah, I mean, watching it, like, that didn't look like an 8-1, but, you know.
Yeah.
It was a really strong showing.
So, player of the game.
I say Medic, or Plum, honestly.
Yeah, Corsair did definitely have a strong game.
A cap and a really good steal on the first map. Then what?
It was the second map, though, where he, like, even when he wasn't capping, his steals were really able to generate pressure. There was the one awkward moment on Blackout where he tried to pass and failed, but he also did set up Sporty's ninja cap by just managing to drag the defense really far out.
3 medic caps, a good steal in the first stalemate there. On top of all that you just said, so I think he really stood out compared to...
Yeah, definitely. So we'll give the player of the game to __Plum or Corsair Con.
Alrighty.
And I guess just wrapping things up here. Thoughts on the tournament going forward and what we learned from this match?
I
mean, If we still have Matt here, no, he's gone. He's long gone. Okay. But Miski, you are going to be facing Insurgents before too long, most likely.
Yeah, sometime soon. We're working on scheduling it. Looks like possibly the last week of February, maybe our match.
All right, so anything you picked up from that match as far as Insurgents goes and how they are looking going forward?
I mean, they look well-rounded, especially with this like new roster. Being able to play, like, again, 2 different styles of maps very well. And, I mean, it's pretty rare that we see Blackout or Opposites ended that quickly. Blackout, there was still, what, 9 minutes, 8 minutes left on the clock?
5 minutes. 5 minutes,
well,
and I'd say
still,
25 minutes is kind of average time for
Alright.
Blackout.
But, like, Opposites, it's been a while since I've seen Opposites in that quick.
Yeah. No, that was definitely really fast-paced.
Oftentimes you see, like, very long stalemates in the map, but Insurgents, there was one possible stalemate, and it was actually the medic with the flag that ended up basically ending it with those webs. So, yeah, I don't know. They seem really well-rounded, especially this new roster. I mean, they lost a couple players, but the players they got seem to be meshing very well, very quickly.
Yeah, I did notice that Spexon seemed to be struggling to get kills at times, which was interesting. EG and Spray both did a pretty good job on offense overall, at least on Blackout. And there was the one cap on Opposites, but I do feel Insurgents played that map a bit stronger than they did play Blackout.
Yeah.
Just because what I think was working against Insurgents' defense there was just how quickly the match was moving along. You had a very fast pace of play, and that sometimes allows for situations where like 5 got out there.
Yeah, well, the thing there too, also from Corsair Connor Plum, is knowing on that first cap that he didn't need to respawn and go medic that flight gear, and he could get a good steal and go bottom, was a really heads-up play. Because most medics would just respawn there, right, and go heal their flight carrier.
Yeah.
But he just lets the flight carrier go. He knows that he's fine. He caps, and that's just a free steal bottom.
Yeah, no, that was really good awareness from him. And as for Valory, on the other hand, I do think we saw pretty good play from some players on their roster. Less so from others, I think it's safe to say. It does look like Caffeine had some okay individual moments, but he did seem to struggle with positioning a bit. There was the point where he was boosting the final cap across the map, and that did hurt Valory a bit.
Yeah. And we had Maryland earlier also boost on Corsair Con on the first map.
Yeah, with the lightning.
Yeah.
So definitely some details to be ironed out, but they are a very new team, and I don't doubt they'll be able to work on that going forward.
Yeah, I think everyone played well except for that Versions guy.
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
Terrible. Can you imagine we'd let him make our thumbnails?
Oof.
Yeah. So I think that wraps everything up, unless you want to make predictions for the tournament.
No, I don't know. I think we're going to have to wait and see. I think there's a lot of, I guess, teams that could really show up in the tournament that people aren't expecting.
Yeah, and I do think the Fire Conference in particular is sort of anyone's game.
Yeah. I mean, ICE does look a lot more like closed off, I guess, in terms of like what teams. But again, I think that third spot will be, I think top 2 in ICE may be pretty set. I'll say.
Yeah.
I think that third spot could be. I don't know. I think second and third, there's like 3 teams that could be in there. I don't know.
Rather than dancing around the teams in question, we're expecting Templars and Insurgents to be the top 2 teams in that conference.
Yeah.
No
but then again, I think ADV could potentially beat Insurgents.
Oh yeah, definitely. If they have the right players show up and if they play well together.
Yeah. I think a lot of it's actually roster dependent.
It will be sort of an interesting experiment from ADV because they do have a few players who don't speak German at a native level now.
Yeah.
So we'll see how
I mean, as far as my own team Annie goes, I don't know where we are now. We just, I mean, our entire starting roster is like 4 players at least are new. So
yeah, you keep putting Brandino on offense. I think you're gonna regret that.
Okay, the only reason Brandino was on offense is because Ningeek didn't show.
Okay.
But yeah, I think if we mesh well, we could be decent. But
ADV could definitely be see some competition from Annihilation for the third spot, and that third spot is the last spot that gets into playoffs. So we'll see how that is, how that plays out. For Fire, though, really any of the teams I think has a pretty good shot making it forward.
Yeah, I mean, DF is another team where we have no idea where they are right now. Like, looking at their roster, they look weaker, but I don't know. They've always just been strong, like even with what I'd consider like bad rosters for them.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And we may see some hero plays from the Dashing Dragon going forward.
I wasn't gonna. Okay.
I'm not kidding though. He is sort of
Yeah?
the X factor for the team right now.
I mean, no one like knows like what
Exactly. No one knows how he's going to show up exactly, and though we may expect Link to be their main soldier on offense,
I mean,
having someone to work
realistically, right?
with.
Realistically, if the Dashing Dragon comes out and has like a good match, right? That might tilt the other team. Like
That can definitely tip the scales.
if he comes out and plays like out of his mind one map, right?
Yeah.
That could be. I don't know. But then again, I mean, it's a tournament. Anyone could do that, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's been interesting seeing DF experiment a little bit with Unifier as well on different roles now that he's on the team. But still, I definitely say that Recovs and Link are obviously their players to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what plays though, or who plays rather, because they have a lot of players who like don't play in matches that could show up big. I mean, someone like Sibs, right? Sibs barely plays in matches, but like,
oh yeah,
he's a good player. Like if he ends up showing up to one of these matches and playing really well, like he has in the past sometimes.
And Wolves and Rabius as well are both very strong players.
I mean, Sibs was one of the first players actually to like play like the style of defensive ninja that we see now. I guess with like the really like aggressive roaming.
Yeah.
Not many people used to do it. Like him and
Decep sort of maybe lost his edge a little bit in that sense.
I do think,
but
he used to be like, as an offensive player, he used to be like a super scary ninja to like play against. Actually, like even in like casual games, like back on like B1 when casual games were pretty serious. Like he was able to solo recover on like people like Link, like Chak when they're playing like soldier stuff that like no one else back then could do, except for like again maybe Deceptive.
That may have sort of been partly there not being particularly strong support back in the day.
Well, this was insta heal medic though.
I know it was insta heal medic, but just the quality of medics you had on public servers was.
Well, yeah, and I guess even with insta heal medic, there was less priority on the medic as well, because like the medic was like, or you think like, oh, I can just hit him whenever, you know?
Yeah.
You're not really forced to be up there. But yeah, there's a lot of ninjas that really fill that role now. I mean, James does that. You have.
Oh yeah.
Forums, June, Invid. Yeah.
Yeah, quite a few.
But he was the first, I think, from what I know, to really do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about old Recov ninjas who used to give people fits. Crabs.
I mean, Crabs and Decep are the only other two I can really think of. Like maybe Kalig what was
at times?
Kalig, yeah. What was the Oh my god, they had like a girl skin. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot. I remember because there was an all ninja match.
Right.
And whoever this, I forget the name of the player, but they killed me like 6 or 7 times in a row.
Not Angel Kitty, was it?
No. 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 I don't think it was a girl. They just had like a girl's skin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have been.
Name had like a number in it, like a zeros. I don't know. I'll remember it eventually, but.
Regardless,
Oh, it was Lala, I think. Lala.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Back then, yeah.
And a lot has changed. There was a while where Silva was the gold standard for chemists.
Yeah, I mean, back then, like, Annie and Genetic had a lot of the chemists, and then there was, like, Tizik and Hallow. But, like, a lot of the chemists back then, like, you look... I mean, Annie, BK, Defy, ADV even, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Genetic. Like, the top teams, like, TT and DF were always, like, still more, like, soldier-based, I guess.
Yeah, although Matt did play a pretty mean chemist for the time, and Mista as well.
But yeah, people, like, you know... There was a lot of, like, really good chemists back then. That was just a byproduct of the class being super strong, but...
Yeah.
Chemist is one of those classes where you can just, like, start playing the game and, like, become good at, you know?
Mm-hmm. So anyways, on to the other teams in Fire. Scorch definitely has a question mark, a big question mark now with Gamron no longer leading the team.
I mean, I'll be honest, they destroyed us in our official, like...
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was our first time playing with that roster, but still, like...
And they definitely showed up strong, I remember, in Scrim, where I was filling in for PC members. Generally speaking, I'd say they work pretty well as a team. Death Bunny, or I guess his name is a truck now.
It's like, well, that, yeah, on his
Um,
one account.
yeah, he's been playing very well on Chemist, and he's, from what I saw, actually sort of the core of their offense.
Well, he was always a player that was like underrated, but like with like good structure around him, I think like.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he serves like a clearing role, right? Like he just goes in and like kills shit, right? And like that's a role we used to see like a lot more, but like you don't see it a ton anymore since like most teams are running like ninjas and stuff on defense rather than like heavy
There's
a lot.
definitely a place for people to clear now.
Oh yeah,
Meta, absolutely.
Well, the thing is, it used to be ninja chemist and even medic to an extent, right? But now like ninja clearing, if ninja capping isn't like allowed, is like very situational because you're like giving up a ton of pressure on defense.
Yeah,
like a good chemist can really still
a good chemist, a good heavy in particular can clear, especially when defenses are tending to run a lot of ninjas now, because that's what's going to keep up with them.
That's the advantage too with like chemist and heavy opposed to something like ninja, right? If there's no ninja capping, those classes can also steal if they need to, right?
Yeah.
Where on ninja, if you're playing ninja offense in a match with like no ninja capping or like very limited ninja capping, sure, you might kill the pyro a couple times that match, right? But if your like heavier soldier goes down, you can't cap.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it gives them another stealing threat and that potential to clear. Yeah, there's not really. I wouldn't say there's not like a lot of good chemists anymore, but people just don't play it.
And looking to the rest of Scorch's roster, JTB's definitely been showing up quite a bit. Regal as well.
Yeah,
has been playing well.
They've been the anchors of their defense. I mean, in our match, like,
and it's interesting because Regal usually doesn't play defense, so him playing defense against you guys was a bit out of the ordinary.
His soldier was very good.
Gam definitely helps out their defense a lot, though, or did in the past. So him not being there may be an issue for them.
Well, he's still on the team, right?
No.
No?
No.
I thought he was last time I checked the roster.
No, they dropped from 20 to 19.
They had Irrelevant News or whoever playing Assassin, and his mechanics as far as just like the class weren't great. But he's one of those assassins where like it's almost like a PvP based assassin, I guess. Like even if he doesn't get the assassin off you, he's gonna take you like low enough to where it's gonna like soften you up, you know? He's not like a hide around like corners and wait for you to come assassin. He's gonna get up in your face and like try to fight you.
And they do have a few other players who can definitely impact the game. Cardona at times on offense. Snake Man Jenkins and Chaos are both pretty good archers. And then Chewy as well can multi-class pretty well.
I guess the big pyro is looking pretty good.
Yeah. And then Game Boy Trey and Irrelevant News, depending on how they mesh in with the rest of the team, could become a bit of an X factor for them.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of other players have like previous synergy, because even some of the ones that have like been around on CTF for a while, like Carowinds, right? They played what's it called? The Mindplex CTF or whatever. Together a lot, and then a lot of them are from MMC as well, Mindman Club or whatever.
Right.
Like Humans, I know, came from there.
So Humans has been around for a while though.
Yeah. But like, a lot of players come from like servers where like they've played together before. So the synergy's there. I mean, synergy's one of the biggest things. So I said like, that's our main problem right now with our roster, right? Is just cool. We got all these new players, but we don't know how to play together yet.
Yeah. TC also had some new pickups recently. Alcia, Pudgy, and Laden are all in the team.
Oh, yeah.
Alcia, I think, may have a bit less of an impact than some, but Pudgy and Laden, especially...
Laden's always a question activity-wise.
True, but he did play in the last match, and Pudgy is around 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, aside from that, you do have a very strong defense core when they play. June, King Scrub, G. Henry, Forums.
Sam, yeah, June and Sam is...
State defense. Yeah.
I mean, and look at their offense now, right? If Mitch plays, Arc, Mitch, and Pudgy, that's pretty good offense.
Yeah, or you can mix in Swid as well if you wanted to.
But, yeah.
Swid's definitely very strong.
Yeah. I mean, Mitch hasn't really played a lot, though, recently.
You're generally going to see a lot of people on the team getting playtime. Just because of how they run. I didn't even mention Eeyore on defense, but she's definitely a strong assassin and can switch to offense pretty well as well.
I mean, the one person we haven't mentioned, I think, is like their biggest X factor is like Kev. Kev can play like almost every class.
Yeah, and he's definitely their strongest archer right now as well.
Yeah. I mean, Kev just has like a lot of like game knowledge, I guess is what I'd call it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he knows where he needs to be and what class he needs to be playing.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams like lack a player like that, I feel. Like they just stick people on the roles, and there's not really like I think each team should have like one player that can just not like switch at will, but like has like I guess the freedom to if they see something.
And that is something that TC does have in spades. They have a lot of versatility with that roster.
Mm-hmm.
But not even TC has been able to make Zelia good at Pyro.
They have Quar.
True, Quar.
Wow.
Although Quar has been a bit inactive lately, so
I mean Rusty, but still, like, even being Rusty, she's probably still one of the best Pyros.
True. Although I generally would expect them to start G Henry over her.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that leaves us with well, we discussed Valory a bit today, so TBF. TBF is something, definitely.
I'll be honest here for a second. I think a lot of like the wins they've been getting away with are because of like crazy map picks.
Well,
but not crazy, but like I don't know. I think a lot of because they put in a lot of practice time compared to some other teams, right? Like
True, yeah.
So when they pick that map and you have like maybe one practice to prepare for it, you have to assume they've played it like 3-4 different practices, you know? Because every practice of theirs, they set like 7 maps.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and I guess I wouldn't really call it cheese because like they're putting in a lot of time and work, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like if you remember Divergent Strike when they played Insurgence, they were just miles ahead in terms of strategy on it. And it came out with a very quick cap as a result.
It's like heading up to the co-op or whatever. That's one of the matches. Like we practiced like.
Now that is more of an advantage for them in the group stage where they do get to pick maps, as opposed to the playoffs where each round is going to have a set map pool. But even so.
But I mean, TFF is a team that like in previous tournaments hasn't really shown up at all. So like even getting like to the group stage for them or the playoffs or whatever would be like. Pretty good, I'd say.
True. But them being competitive isn't new, on the other hand, either. They've definitely been strong for the last year, if not longer. Mm-hmm. And their roster right now had some pretty good pickups as well. They got Salty Ivan from Defiance, who's a very strong elf chemist.
Well, it looks like that core, though, also, like, Ace Spades, Invidus, like, Drag, Snowbreak is actually, like, starting to, like, finally gel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, it used to look like, especially on their offense, they used to, like, never be on the same page, right? But since they picked up, like, Satellite, since Drag's, like, improved his play a little bit, Snowbreak's, like, flexing on stuff like Elf, too, as well, which not a lot of teams run.
Yeah, although Snowbreak's been playing Elf for a while, so...
Yeah, but I mean, like...
The factor there isn't as major. Yeah. And they do have good pieces as well they can put in at any time. Fluffy Georgette, 915 has been showing up very well on Elf offense lately.
Yeah, he's really the only player that can actually like make it work in a match, I feel like, on offense. Because of how much he plays it. Like, maybe not like, okay, other people can cap with it, but he's the only one that can like do it consistently and like not switch off, I guess.
Chooch, when he plays, is a very big factor. They did pick up DTJ as well, who can multi-class quite a bit and is a strong mage whenever they need a mage.
Yeah, that's actually
one
of the gaps they were missing.
Enlog and Fiona as sort of the less bulky defensive classes also make a difference.
And a solid medic and assassin.
Yeah. Or ninja and assassin, quite frankly.
Ninja, yeah.
So I mean that conference is anyone's game.
Yeah, really. I mean, it's gonna be exciting. I think every match and there's like maybe they won't all be close, but they're at least gonna be like they're not gonna be stomps. I don't think.
Yeah. TT's looking really scared coming into this tournament, though.
Yeah, I've like set up some of their practices recently. They're getting like 30 players online.
Yeah, and their pickups coming into the tournament. I mean, you see some other teams pick up, good players who may not have shined as much elsewhere, but do have a chance to play, well for a given team.
Mhm.
TT goes into the tournament after being inactive for a little while, and they pick up Kriz and Suntail.
Well, I mean, and even Raging hasn't been on the team that long either.
Yeah, I mean, they're
Also.
basically just able to get strong PvPers at will.
Well, and I think the thing is like, when people look at the team system, right? Like, okay, this team's like, what's like their overall record's like insane, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a player that's good, and they're looking for a team to join, like, who are they going to apply to, right?
Yeah.
So I think like they have like the cream of the crop there,
Now, activity is definitely going to be a question with their roster. We definitely haven't seen a number of people play that recently. Coca, after being super active for a long while, has been relatively inactive of late.
Yeah. But the thing again is like, the thing with TT is like they might not be active in game, but when it comes to matches and stuff, right?
Oh, they all show up, yeah.
They almost, yeah, like, I mean, you'll go to their practices and you'll see people that you haven't seen in years showing up to their practices, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I mean, when's the last time Chak and Krabs played in game, right? When's the last time, like, I mean, there's just so many people. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. And they managed to stay good at the game, like, even with, like, little playtime,
Yeah. But of course, we aren't talking about the tournament favorites of yet, or we haven't been. So even though the Templars have been looking pretty scary going into things here, and, Annihilation, Venturer, Insurgence, especially Insurgence, may have a chance to win that group, you have to give it up to the Shanghai Flexers going into this.
What the fuck do you just call them?
The Shanghai Flexers!
Holy shit, I can't.
Named after the strongest team from Overwatch League.
Yeah.
They almost capped first point on Horizon today.
I saw. Damn.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, the Flexers, if they show up, which unfortunately is a question mark going forward, do have some pieces who can be competitive. Shadoon is still on the roster, and he's been showing up more lately.
Yeah, he's not a bad PvP at all.
Yeah. And
when Heavy and Soldier being so in the meta.
Mm-hmm. And then you do see their other players occasionally show up in game, just in public games. Mooks is sort of a question mark as a leader. We really don't know what to expect from him. But Stormnox is okay. Duzzy, or Style Points, has been around forever and plays at a respectable level, and Zafina as well.
Yeah, Zafina is also very good at PvP. The thing I'll mention is, like, I wouldn't say Mooks is, like, a crazy good player or anything, but, like, the amount he's improved over, like, the past, like, month or two.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty... I don't know the word to really describe it, but, like, it's at a very fast rate.
He turns on fly during the match.
Jeez.
I mean, just the roster has so many question marks, though, so it's a little hard to see them winning a match. Even I hate to say it, but winning a match even.
Yeah. I mean, there's more chance of them possibly winning a match, though, with the group stage being changed.
Oh yeah, no, and we don't know what they'll pick in terms of maps, so that may be a little bit of an X factor. We don't know exactly who's going to show up for their roster, and they're a very hard team to prepare for necessarily if you're going to do preparation for the Flexers. And
most teams probably have no idea how to prepare for them, so like if they come out and have like a really strong match or something, like who knows?
Yeah. No, yeah, that's gonna send ripples throughout the rest of the team scene if they do.
Like, imagine like first match, right? Flexer just like upsets TT, right?
Yeah.
That group is like blown wide open.
Absolutely no. I mean, if a lot of teams are taking them as a free win, then all I can say is you shouldn't take any team for granted in this league. Especially not when, especially not when one of them can just fly across.
Come on.
You never know with these mods. I mean, they may miss something.
Yeah. And dude, these mods suck, honestly.
Really.
Oh yeah.
So the tournament is going to be kicking off with a match later today between TBF and Valory. Valory being the team that we just saw play against Insurgence here, and should be interesting. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be around for it, but you can definitely stay tuned later on in the day at 8 o'clock for CTF Match Spotlight to be covering that match. We look forward to the start of the tournament, and should be an exciting time going forward for CTF as a whole. So this has been Bosque, Miski, and Red Slime, I believe, manning the camera. So we hope you enjoyed the stream, and have a nice day. See you guys.
See you guys later.